morning. This is Cliff with Hamilton Transportation. Just finished getting some fuel. Now we are headed down to Baltimore to the port. This load is a little different. I am picking up a steel roller. So this thing apparently is 19 feet long, weighs about 49,000 pounds, and is going to a steel mill. Apparently this is used in a machine to make railroad tracks. So that's what the guy at the mill told us yesterday when we called. Getting a little bit of a late start this week. It's actually Wednesday morning. We finished up last week on Friday. We were not able to find a load on Friday for Monday, so we figured we'd get one on Monday morning. Well, we sat there all day staring at the board, and there was nothing posting. So we ended up not working on Monday. Figured we'd get something Tuesday. Well, Tuesday morning rolls around, and we're looking at the board, and there's still, there's loads, but these loads, they are RGN loads. A lot of them oversized and heavy, and guys have these brokers, they have like $2.60 a mile, and you're supposed to pay permits out of that as well. And I'm sorry, I'm just not doing that. It cost me about $2.50 a mile to just run the truck. So I'm not going to take a load that I'm losing money on. I would rather stay at home. If I'm going to go out of business, I'll do it at my house. You know what I mean? So Tuesday, it was about lunchtime, I guess. We called on this load that we had seen on the board. Usually we haul equipment, so we weren't real thrilled about this, a crane appointment at the port. But there was literally nothing else on the board that was paying. So we called on it, told us what we was. We said, yeah, we can do that, So we ended up taking this one. Hopefully it's a good idea. Hopefully it's not a big pain in the butt. The guy at the mill said that it will have dunnage built around it. So all I should have to do is, they crane load it onto the trailer, and I just have to secure it, and then we should be good to go. Nothing special about it. So it should be no problem. I have an 8 o'clock appointment down there. It is just now, it's 5:54. So starting early this morning. Hopefully this load pans out. But let's ride down to Baltimore and get checked in down there. Have to see what happens with this one. We finally made it on the port. There was a stretch flatbed with a load of, looked like rebar or something on, that was completely blocking the entrance. So then as people got here, they just lined up behind them out on the road. So when I got here, there was a whole line of trucks out on the road, and I didn't know whether they were waiting to get on the port, or if they were waiting for an escort to get on the port, or what. So I just lined up behind them, sat there for about 10 minutes. Finally, somebody on the CB answered me and said, hey, there's people lined up out here because the entrance is blocked. So then I was able to get around and actually get in. So, but it's like 8:30 now. But we're headed back here. Hopefully Shed 12 is not too busy. I'm also hoping that Shed 12 is the right place. I'm 90% sure, but my paperwork doesn't say anything. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. So we'll get back here and get checked in, and then hopefully we'll get loaded up by the crane here. So I'll talk to you guys in a bit. All right, we're all checked in. I guess they're pulling it out. Told me to wait in the truck. They'll come get me and then take me over to the crane and get it loaded up. So that's what we're waiting on now. Alright, so we got loaded. We dropped that on the crane. See, we had to stick boards under it. So it is all covered. I think I am going to throw a chain across right here with some of my protection I use for excavator booms. I'll put that up there and throw a chain over that, front and back. And then I'll probably put, I don't know, maybe a strap there, and maybe a couple straps over here. Maybe a strap there, and maybe a strap there. That's a big solid spot. So let's get her chained down. Alright guys, we got this about chained down. So I ended up going with 2 half-inch straps. That's about 11,000 pounds each. And then 2 half-inch chains, and then 2 4-inch straps. So the half-inch chains are about 11,000 each. That's 22. And the 4-inch straps are 5,400 each. That's another 10,000 pounds. So we're way over half. So we're good there. So let's get this thing to Indiana. So we forgot to pull our Ohio Turnpike permit. And when I say forgot, it was my fault. Ohio does this weird thing where 76 is the turnpike until you get to 80, and then it switches from 76 to 80. And I was thinking about it wrong. I was thinking that 80 was the turnpike all the way across, so I didn't think we needed a turnpike permit for Ohio. So by the time we went to pull it, it was like, 4:30, not 4:30, probably 4 o'clock, and they're all done for the day. nobody to review the permit and issue it. So instead of waiting at the state line, we decided we're just going to stick with the PA Turnpike, run that up to Newcastle on 376, and then hit 224 and bring it across. It's like 7 miles from there to the state line in Ohio. And just started our Ohio permit on 224 at the state line. So we did not pull another PA permit, but I'm in Ohio now, so we're good. Added a couple miles, but not many. So yeah, I don't know why you would think, the Ohio Turnpike employees work past 4 o'clock. Ridiculous, I know. But yeah, apparently they had to manually review it because we're heavier than 90,000 pounds, and that wasn't going to happen until the morning. So I'm not waiting until the morning to get into Ohio. So I'm on 224 now. We're going to head up, hit 680, take that up to Akron. See, there's more oversized guys coming across this way. So that is one thing about running oversized and heavy is we learn new routes every once in a while. So like I didn't know how to get from the turnpike into Ohio without using the Ohio Turnpike. Well, now I do. You just run 376 up to 224 and into Ohio. So that's probably what we'll do from now on. Anyway, we're gonna hit 680, run that up to 80, and then run that up to 80, and then that back to 76. We'll stick with 76 over through Akron, hit 71, down to 30, and 250. I think it's 250 after that. But anyway, the hotel we booked is on 250. Anyway, that's the plan. So we're gonna stay at a Quality Inn in I think it's Ashland, Ohio, and then do the rest of our journey across to Columbia City, Indiana in the morning. So that's it for now. I'll keep trucking here, and I'll talk to you guys when I get to the hotel. Well, we just made it here to the Quality Inn in, where are we? Ashland, Ohio. So we have about 190 miles to go in the morning. Just took a little longer at the port than we expected. Yeah, just the gate was all clogged up this morning, and then I got there at about 8:30. I didn't leave until almost 11:30. So just a waste of time in the morning, and we didn't get as far as we liked, but we did a bunch of miles today, about 529 miles. We'll finish this run up in the morning, and then we're headed over to Detroit to pick up a wheel loader. So I don't know how that'll go. No, Detroit, I've only picked up from there, well, it was just north of Detroit, so I drove through Detroit once. Looks like it could be fun, so we'll see how that goes in the morning. But for now, I'm gonna get some rest, and I will see you guys in the morning. Morning, guys. It is 5:30. We have our pre-trip done. I'm getting ready to roll out. So we got 187 miles to go, so let's get it done. just checked in with the guard at the gate. So now we're headed back to door 22. We tried to call our contact here this morning, but he didn't answer, so we left a voicemail. We haven't heard back from him yet. Back here and see if they want us to back in right away or what. Trying to talk to somebody, I guess. Alright, I'm gonna go see if I can find somebody and see what I'm supposed to do here. Alright, we got that one delivered. I wasn't allowed to film anything in there. It's a big steel mill, I'm sure you saw as we were driving in. But they didn't want any cameras, so I wasn't allowed to film. But they were in quite a hurry once they showed up. They wanted me backed in, and then they already had the crane over there, the slings rigged up, and they just yanked the thing off the trailer, and that was that. So I just cleaned up my stuff and took off. So, which is good, because now we're headed up to Detroit to pick up a wheel loader that is going down to the same terminal we took the excavator from last week. So I haven't seen any pictures of this thing. I'm hoping it's good. The broker said it's clean, no flat tires, operation, no problems. So we will see. I think it's a foreign run place. Contact's name is Ali. It seems like they're in the business of shipping equipment overseas, which is fine as long as they have, their stuff together. Usually the brokers we deal with on export stuff, I won't say usually, but about half the time they have no idea what they're doing, and they try to give you this crap with the port that's leaking hydraulic fluid or has flat tires or whatever, or they don't have their paperwork in order. This place seems to know what they're doing.
Wrong.
We have the dock receipt, we have the bill of sale. They said it's been clean, no flat tires, it's operational, so it should be good. The only problem I have about it is that it is a 1978 cat wheel. So, while pretty cool, that we're picking up an almost 50-year-old piece of equipment to take to the port, it's either good or bad. If anybody who knows old equipment, it's good in the way that there's no computer to go bad. The wiring is simple. It's an old cat motor, which is bulletproof. So hopefully that is the case. Hopefully we get there and the thing just fires right up, and we have no problem. Just load it up and go. So then we'll be picking that up and taking it home tomorrow, because it's just a little bit, it's about 100 miles too much to get it down to the port. And it'll be more profitable for us to just take it home and then run it down Monday. Hopefully we can get a load out of the port on Monday, and then we have no deadhead to get there. So we'll see what happens. But that is the update for now. But I'm going to keep heading to Detroit, and I will talk to you guys when we get there to load that wheel loader up. So we are headed back down 75, down to Toledo. Still empty. So I got to Detroit, got to the place where I'm supposed to pick this wheel loader up. Of course, it's loading in the street because it's Detroit. So I parked, and I walked in, and I met Ali, the guy that's shipping this thing. And I walked into the lot, and this thing is covered in dirt. I'll put some pictures in here so you guys can see it. Covered in dirt. It has a wheel seal leaking oil. So I asked him about that. I said, "What's going on with this?" "Oh, it's just dirty, just water," he said. "Well, you can run your finger through it, and it's gear oil." So I said, "Well, that's not water, that's oil." And he said, "Oh, it's not leaking though." And it's like, well, how can you tell? Because the thing is caked in grease and oil. So I asked him if he replaced the wheel seal. And he said, "Oh yeah, we replaced it." And I said, "You replaced it? You didn't clean it?" No, we don't have a pressure washer." I said, "Well, the whole thing needs washed." "Oh, we'll clean it for you. So then he tells me one of the tires is a little low. I might have to put some air in it. So I said, "Well, is it leaking air?" No, it's not leaking air. It's just low." "How did the tire get low?" "It's not leaking air." Then he tells me, the other thing is it doesn't have brakes. No brakes. And I said, "Well, the port's not going to take that without any brakes. Even if we clean up the wheel and it's not leaking and we get the thing cleaned off and the tire holds enough air to get to the port, they're not taking it without brakes." They said, "Oh no, they'll take it." I said, "Well, how can you say that they'll take it? How do you know they'll take it?" "Oh, well, why wouldn't they take it?" I said, I'm telling you, if I get to the port with this thing like this, they're going to reject it, and then I'm sitting under a permitted load at the port and what am I supposed to do? You have to pull a permit, a Baltimore permit, and a Maryland permit to get it in there, which is like $145 for any permit, no matter the miles. Then if you get turned away, you can't move on that permit. You got to pull another permit to move it anywhere. So I told him, I said, we're going to call down to the port, to the freight forwarder on this load, and see what he says. So then, of course, as soon as we get a hold of the freight forwarder, he says it doesn't have any brakes. Don't load that thing on your trailer. Don't bring it to us. We don't want it. So I told the guy, hey, I said that they're not going to take this. So usually what happens in that case is the broker will pay something called a truck order not used. Meaning they ordered our truck, we showed up to pick it up, and then we couldn't pick it up for whatever circumstance. So the standard is $150, but that can vary based on how far you drove to get it, whatever. So we tell the broker all this. I send him pictures of the unit. So now he's ghosting us. So anybody out there that is thinking about working with land, air, and sea logistics, don't do it. Don't do it. Should have known better. We deadheaded from Columbia City, Indiana to Detroit. It's about 190 miles to get to the load, and we're just out. So now we're headed down to Toledo. I'm gonna get a hotel for the night, and we'll see if we can make something happen for tomorrow. If nothing posts in the morning, then it looks like we're deadheading home from Toledo, which deadheading home from Indiana, Columbia City, via Detroit. So that's where we're at. Yeah, I'll keep you guys updated if we get anything else. Hopefully we do. Good morning. Another early start for me this morning. Got up at 5. We managed to snag a load last night out of Fort Wayne, Indiana, going over to Columbus, Ohio. So it's a short load, but it's paying pretty good. It's a 60,000 pound John Deere 245 excavator. So I'm up early to get over there and get that picked up. The plan today is to go grab that, deliver it to a job site in Columbus, and then once we're empty, we are just burning back home. So if everything works out right, it's about 635 miles. I should be able to get all that done today and get home tonight for the weekend. That's the plan. We'll see what happens. So let's go for a ride. Alright guys, we are here at West Side Tractor in Fort Wayne, Indiana. I got here, I'm supposed to be picking up a John Deere 245 excavator. So I arrived a little before they opened at 7:30. Just talked to the yard guy, and doesn't seem like he has any of the information. So then I looked at my Raycon, and there's no serial number, there's no company name, just an address to where it's going, and it says John Deere 245. So we're trying to gather some more information. Hopefully this one's not a dud. Man, I just get sick of showing up to places and then leaving empty again. It's not the way you make money. So, but anyway, ours is right down there at the end. I think that's the 245 they have. So hopefully that's the one, and we will get this thing loaded up. And I don't know, maybe they have another one. I don't know. There's some more back here. So hopefully we'll leave here loaded today. All right, we got it figured out. That's the one. So we're gonna go ahead and get it loaded up here. I guess just run a chain through both of them, kind of hold them together. We got our chain down. I'm trying to do this fast because I want to get this delivered, and then I'm heading straight home from there. So we're trying to be quick today. So we got that chain down. I'm gonna flag it, put my banners on, and then we're gonna roll out. South in Indiana. You guys saw we got that excavator loaded up, got our permits pulled, We're going to head south down 27 here. We took 469 south, past the west side of Fort Wayne to 469, ran that over to 33, actually ran that over to 27. 27 will take us down to 33 east, and then we'll take 33 all the way across Ohio to Columbus. Little bit of a detour at Russell's Point. I guess there's a bridge that we're not allowed to cross. We're permitted for 111,000 pounds. So, they wouldn't give us that bridge. So there's a little bit of a detour, a couple miles. I'll record that so you guys can see it. But yeah, we're looking good. We'll just keep on rolling here and get over to Columbus. Alright guys, we just made it here. They stopped me and told me to unload right here, so I'm gonna get this thing unloaded and then we'll head home. These guys were quick. Cool, you want to sign paperwork?
Yeah.
I think he's operated one of those a few times. one is done. Yeah, you could tell that that guy was an experienced excavator operator. It was cool. He just set that bucket off to the side over here, and then while I was backing up to the truck, he came over and reached across the trailer and grabbed it with the excavator, pick it up and take it over where it was going. So he definitely knew what he was doing. All right, so that one is done. I'm gonna get what's left of a half-an-hour break in here, send my paperwork in, and then we will just haul ass home. All right, got that done. Half-hour break is done. Now it's just a matter of getting home tonight. So my clock's gonna be real close, but I'm gonna take the turnpike home. I don't know if I get within an hour or so of home. You know, maybe I can move a little bit on my shift or on my drive time. But if it's a Friday and the choices are get home and violate by 10 minutes or stay out another night, guess what? I'm getting home. So now I shall make my way out of Columbus and across Pennsylvania and be done for the weekend. So it's only like 1:45, so I don't think we'll hit much traffic at all coming out of Columbus. And then the rest of the way should be smooth sailing. Should be home in time for dinner. We have made it home. It's about 10 after 7, so a very long day today. Got up at 5 and got started, but we were able to get that load picked up, delivered, and then just burned away across Ohio and Pennsylvania and made it home. So I am pretty tired. Glad it's Friday. This week was a weird week. Didn't start until Wednesday, and then we had that load supposed to get out of Detroit that fell through. Luckily we were able to get something to end the week. So not a great week, but we did make some money. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoy the videos. I hope you enjoy the new format of just kind of documenting my work week. Able to do that since I have a little more equipment now. I'm gonna try to keep that going, and hopefully you guys like that. Again, if you have any suggestions or anything, just leave in the comments there. If you liked anything about the video or you don't like anything I do, let me know. I'll try to fix it. But until next week, this is Cliff with Hamilton Transportation. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe below, and I will see you in the next one.